Well, good morning, Jagendra Rana here. So we'll take up the product electronic equipment insurance. Electronic equipment insurance. These days there is hardly a business which doesn't use data, electronic equipment, and analytics. If any of these items are destroyed, there can be a major loss, resulting in both financial damages as well as elevation and stress level. So, electronic equipment insurance offers comprehensive coverage to loss of electronic goods and helps the policyholders save on unavoidable costs. So the electronic equipment insurance offers coverage under 3 sections in order to meet various requirements of people. These 3 categories are all risk, means the policy covers both fire and manual perils. While fire, storms and landslide are some examples under natural calamities, damage caused by terrorism, riots and strikes are manual perils. Then the external data media. This covers the expenses caused due to the loss of data on external media devices like cassettes, discs and magnetic drives. And the third one is increased cost of work. This is the cover for substituted data processing unit. When the insured equipment gets lost or damaged and an alternative tool or additional workers are used to carry on work, the expenses are covered by electronic equipment insurance. This electronic equipment insurance is a must for people who deal with electronic equipment. A flexible insurance policy, the plan covers most of the damages or losses caused to the equipment due to the risks like coverage on damaged equipment, that is replacement expenses of the insured property like freight, erection cost and custom duty. Then coverage on damaged data media, expenses involved in restoring the external data media, lost information, damaged or lost data media, and cost of working, increase in manual work due to loss or damage of electronic equipment, the expenses involved in employing more workers is included in the electronic equipment insurance. The personal and transportation cost borne by the company for the region is also covered. And software damage. This kind of insurance policy also covers loss or damage to software which was the effect of hardware issue. Now the question is how electronic equipment insurance functions. So the insurance seeker fills up a proposal with the details of the equipment. The company representatives visits the site and checks the equipment. Then depending on the conditions of the machinery and expected insurance amount, premium is decided based on which sum insured is calculated. So the sum insured depends on the equipment to be insured, and for equipment the new replacement cost and the software costs are insured. For external data device, replacement cost of empty data, media and cost of producing the lost data are covered. For substituted employment of additional workers, personal expenses and the transportation cost come under the sum insured. The policyholder submits all required documents. A representative from the insurance company investigates the issue. If the claim is genuine, the claim amount is paid in the beneficiary account. If the claim is found to be false or out of the scope of the policy, it is rejected. If the insured is not fine with the solution or claim amount offered, he or she can raise a dispute in the court of law. Then the eligibility criteria has to be seen. This policy is meant for electronic equipments only. So the owner or the owners of the electronic equipment, organizations leasing electronic equipment, bankers or financiers who bear the purchase cost of the equipment can take the policy. The plan is suitable for all electronic equipment such as audio-visual equipment, electronic control panel, computer or allied peripherals, auxiliary equipment like UPS, voltage stabilizers, telecommunications and navigation equipment, electronic equipment used for research and material testing purpose, medical or biomedical equipment like X-ray machines, path lab, ultrasound device, MRI and CAT scan machines. Claim process of the policy is very simple because the insurance company has to be immediately intimated about the nature and extent of loss or damage. A duly filled up claim settlement form needs to be submitted, furnish all the other required documents and information as needed by the company. A company representative will visit the site and examine the risk as mentioned in the claim form. If the claim falls under the conditions mentioned in the policy, the amount is paid to the beneficiary. If there is any dispute or defense regarding the amount paid as per the policy, the insured and the insurer can settle the same with the arbitrator or the court of law. Documents required to claim process are duly filled and claim settlement form, photocopy of the insurance policy, details of the insured electronic equipment, copy of FIR in case of theft of the insured electronic device, photocopy of the preventive maintenance agreement of the equipment, bills and documents if any repair work is done on the damaged equipment. So the electronic equipment insurance claim amount is usually settled within 30 days of the receiving the document supporting claim request. But this policy does not cover means exclusions of the policy relates to the various types of coverages which do not come under the policy. For example, normal wear and tear which takes place with time, damage caused due to overhauling and modifications of data or equipment, manual description like nuclear explosion and wars, internal negligence of the policyholder during use and maintenance of the equipment, then aesthetic defects which already existed in the insured equipment, consequential loss which takes place on the equipments, damage done by pressure waves of aircraft or other aerial devices. Expenses for loss of data will not be covered if there was no backup system for the same. Normally all the general insurance companies are offering this product, but the important aspect of the product is that it is best to understand all the aspects related to the electronic equipment insurance before purchasing one. So some points to be kept in mind while applying for electronic equipment insurances are the beneficiary has to inform the insurance company in writing about any change or movement of the insured equipment. It is important to mention the identification mark, serial number of the insured electronic equipment. The equipment should be under a preventive maintenance agreement to get the claim amount. Need to preserve the affected equipment parts so that it can be shown during investigations. Police needs to be informed immediately in case of theft of the electronic equipment. And if the claim is found to be false, the policy is completely rejected and a new policy cannot be commenced till the next 3 months. or the time given by the insurance company. This policy is a good one because the complete test of loss or damage to data of electronic equipments are covered, irrespective of the depreciation cost of the equipment. The policy can also bear the additional cost of overtime, night work, and double pays on public holidays. If the policyholder cannot replace the electronic equipment due to unavoidable circumstances, the insurance company can still pay the claim on indemnity basis. So the electronic equipment term refers to all systems which require on low voltage and power to operate. The equipment generally do not mark any sound. For examples of electronic equipments are complete computer system including monitor, CPU, keyboard, printers, stabilizers and UPS. Premium amount depends on the market value of the insured equipment, nature and use of the tools. The maintenance agreement of the equipment is also considered while calculating the premium. The policy is renewed on an annual basis. As the policy can be extended to cover third-party liabilities surrounding properties of the policy holder, extra custom duties, express freight, escalation, and air freight. And the electronic equipment insurance can be terminated on the request of the insured, but normally this is a specially designed policy which covers accidental loss to or damage to electronic equipments. This is a specially designed policy because policy covers the equipment like electronic data processing machine, telecommunication equipment, transmitting and receiving installations, including radio, TV, camera, cinema, sound, reproduction and studio equipments, material testing and research equipment, electromedical installations, signals and transmitting units, office calculators, duplicating machines and reproduction machines, control and supervisory units. So the policy can be taken by the owner, lessor or hirer of the electronic equipment. Policy covers sudden and unforeseen physical damage including breakdown to the electronic equipment covered under the policy due to any reason not specifically excluded. Coverage includes, thus it covers damage caused by smoke, soot, dust, corrosive gases, water and humidity, short circuit and electrical fire risk, faulty operations, lack of skills, failing object and entry of foreign bodies, fire, lightning, explosion, lightning strike, malicious damage and terrorism, theft and burglary, natural calamities, flood, inundation, storm, cyclone and earthquake, subsidence, landslide, lot rise. So, question is how to select the sum insured. Because the sum insured or value of the policy should be equivalent to the present day purchase price of a similar new electronic equipment, including all incidental expenses like cost of installation, duty, freight, tax, etc. If the sum insured is less than required as stated above, then the claim will only be paid in such proportion as the sum insured bears to the amount required to be insured. Means application of underlying insurance will be there. So the policy can be extended to include the following risk on payment of additional premium like damage to external data media, for example, punch cards, tapes, discs, etc. as also the cost of reconstruction of data on this external media caused by a peril covered under the policy, and the additional expenditure incurred due to a use of substitute computer system as a result of an accidental damage to the computer insured under the policy and which is covered by the policy. So in case of loss or the incident which falls under the scope of the policy, a claim can be made by informing the insurance company or by taking all the necessary steps. So policy is useful and it does not cover the normal risk like wear and tear and corrosions of parts arising from or use of continuous operations, war-like operations, aesthetic defect, consequential losses, and loss to consumables and operating media, etc. Thank you very much.